San Diego is cracking down on cars that are left parked out in the street.
All right, well, Fox High's legal expert Wendy Patrick joining us now with how city leaders are going to enforce these new rules. So you just don't leave your car on the street?
Well, it's a little more complicated than that, Shali, because I mean, we in San Diego know that there's one thing we have a lot of here. Cars. There are cars everywhere, but not every part of the city has regulations that are designed to streamline where you can park them. I'll give you a couple of prime examples. You may live somewhere in a residential area. You don't have a garage. Maybe you don't even have a driveway. You want to be able to at least park close enough to where it's safe to walk to your own home.
Yes.
But what do you do if that street is absolutely covered with other people's cars that have been there for too long? So there's now going to be a real crackdown on enforcing this 72-hour rule. And you don't just move it a foot and say, oh, I moved the car. It's now going to have to be half a mile.
Okay, so I had all these questions before we even went on air. Public street, but there is a rule that you can't just leave a car there unattended parked for more than 72 hours. I didn't know that. And then in terms of moving it, you can't do the little, okay, well, I moved it an inch forward.
That's right. So it would amend an existing municipal code to basically make that distinction. Because you're right, that's exactly what people would do, is somebody would have their car, or not just motorhomes, but whatever car it is, parked and then move it 3 feet and say, well, now I've started the 72-hour clock again. Not only that, remember that once police cite you, you have 72 hours to move the car. So if you put that together, you're talking about 6 days.
Right.
And the city was just receiving somewhere upwards of 120 complaints per day. This impacted a lot of people.
Yeah,
so now they have to move it, what you said, half a mile?
Half a mile.
That is more in line with county regulations.
Yeah.
Remember, this ordinance came into effect in 1985, where I think we were all in high school back in the 80s.
Yes, sure.
And it's outdated. It needs to be updated because we have a lot more cars and a lot more pedestrians. We want to make it safe for everybody.
Goodness.
So how are they going to do this? Like you, hold on, I'm just thinking. Let me just think this through.
Yeah.
Visual. So they
How are
find
they
your
gonna do
car,
this?
and then they give you a citation. They put it there, and then they're going to log your license plate. And then if they find your car, they're going to track that license plate to see that if
I
it's
think
like,
you just told people how they're going to do it.
Sounds
but
like
the
you're
computer
strategizing the enforcement side as to how this is going to work.
But like half a mile, like what they're going to have to like run this and have like a whole app for this.
Yeah.
And
Well,
say,
I think we talked last time about how they were going to enforce the speed law, and part of that analysis involved these updated procedures, photographing license plates. The how is probably something that's been in the works for years because we've had this rule. What we're looking at is enforcing it. Sometimes we have laws on the books that just aren't enforced or are under enforced in certain areas where maybe parking enforcement isn't. For example, there are lots of places in San Diego County that don't have meters or they don't have parking lots. So there's probably less parking enforcement in those types of areas.
So how come some streets that are public streets have like 1,000 signs posted that are so confusing about you can't park here, you can't park there, you can park there, but not under this hour and this hour, but not on this day and that day, and some do not? Why not just put up signs in these places that are causing problems and say, hey, you can't park from here to there, blah, blah, blah?
Well, I think that's part of it, and that's one of the reasons, Raul, that you see people getting out of their cars and taking all these pictures of the signs, because if they can't figure it out, they want to make sure they have a defense if they get cited.
Right.
But ironically, this enforcement is usually something that's under enforced in areas with no signs. So there are no signs saying where you can and can't park. There are no yellow curbs or red curbs or fire hydrants or parking lots or meters. We don't have the infrastructure that's meant to make sure that it's not hazardous to park there. So how are they going to enforce it, Charlie? That's going to be it's going to be a matter of more people going out and enforcing it. Because if you don't have enough manpower, enough resources being allocated to these areas, people can't even park in front of their own homes.
So there's always two sides, always. Who would be against this? Who is against this?
Well, the people that would be against this would be somebody that thinks it's not being forced fairly. Maybe people that live in their cars have an objection saying, look, we're being targeted. Or maybe somebody that doesn't have the money for gas to move that car. What do they put in neutral and push it like we did in high school before we had all these other ways of fixing our cars? But those are the kinds of things, as if it would be burdensome to move it a half a mile every 3 days, or to pay that fine, not just the $53.50 of the ticket, but the towing cost.
Ay, ay, ay.
We all know how expensive that can be.
Very expensive.
Oh yeah.
And then what about, but there's also the thing about the on-street parking spots, and they're taking them and putting bike lanes, so people are complaining that, well, that's taking away more parking spots, but then the cyclists want their
So, I mean, the key just can't be, well, don't have a car, because we don't have the public transportation options going everywhere. It's not like we're talking about living in Manhattan, where you can take a train wherever you need to go. We don't have that yet. So many people have to drive. We just want to make sure they drive safely and park safely to where it's not a hazard.
Did we get your reserve spot parking in front of Fox 5 here
You've
today?
got plenty of parking out here. I always park in the same place, as you guys know.
Said no one ever. I mean, nobody.
Every time I park on the street, really, especially when I go up to LA, it's almost like take a deep breath and come back and say, okay, I walk to the windshield all the time. Like, did I get a ticket?
Isn't that the truth? But nowadays, you almost have to think you're going to get the ticket online. Just because there's nothing on your dashboard or your windshield doesn't mean you don't have a ticket.
All right, Wendy, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.